You're listening to KSFS Radio. KSFS proudly brought to you by the Department of Broadcast and Electronic Communication Arts at San Francisco State University. Some rights reserved under Creative Commons license. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, y'all. Welcome, welcome. This is Nerding Out. Everything nerdy, all things nerdy, every time, all the time. My name is Nico.
And my name is Gabe.
And yeah, this is this is almost the end of April. Welcome, y'all, to a new week. This is nerding out. We talk about anything nerdy, all things nerdy, and right now it's exactly 12 p.m. Welcome, man. It's been a wild few weeks ever since this uh, land of April, because there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening, especially with this like months, especially like from events to just homework and all a lot of like stuff that's happening until
Yeah,
like
dude.
May. We're about to reach like the final leg really of this semester, and yeah, it's it kind of melancholy to think about because I'm about to graduate this year. Just thinking about like what am I going to do with with my life, but that's just something to think about in the next few like weeks or so. Are you graduating this year, Gabe?
I am.
Oh my
I'm in the
goodness,
final stretch.
man.
Only a couple more weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because last semester I was supposed to graduate. Well, technically I'm done with all my classes, right? I don't have to worry about everything. But man, my classes so far have been like rough because some of my classes are online, so it's hard to coordinate with people because it's not the pandemic anymore, right? People
Yeah.
are not like in their computers, just like there, being active. Well, active can be in quotation marks, but it's it's kind of interesting, really. It's hard to coordinate with people that are busy with like IRL stuff as well, combined with remote work. So um, I think tomorrow I'm going to talk to a professor in one of my classes, and I have to like they're going to give me feedback on like my final project and stuff. So
Nice.
it's rough because let's just say only me and another person are like active, and technically a third person, but the other two members have been like MIA for like about like 4 weeks. So I'm like, oh,
Just kick him off, bro.
I wish, but I'm like, man, this is like rough. I mean,
Nah, don't say I wish. Kick him off the project, bro.
yeah, that's what I said. I'm gonna mention it once it gets to the meeting tomorrow, as I said before. So, because we're all scheduled to like meetings
Yeah.
for our feedback. So I'll probably mention like, oh, so we'll see how that goes as well. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy for these next few weeks because this
And
is
I would like to give people a reminder because they just sent me an email reminding me to take the mandatory online training, Voices for Change.
Yeah,
The
everyone.
due date is April 29th, and I have been putting this off for months now.
Is that a requirement thing that we still have to do? I don't know.
I don't
Because
know.
I'm graduated. Because I'm like, oh,
That's what I was thinking, but then it says mandatory.
I don't know. I already
Uh,
did that test like a long time ago. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, wait,
federally required.
federally required. What the?
Yeah, that's like the first thing. I'm just gonna do it just in case, cause I don't want it to be like one of those things where they're like, "Hey, you didn't do this training video.
That is weird, though.
No degree for you."
That is weird. That's a weird like
But yeah,
thing. What? Okay,
I-
we'll see how it goes. But I don't
yeah.
know. I'm gonna be busy just stressing over final projects. So I don't know. We'll see if I do it. If I don't, I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, what did you do this weekend, Gabe?
You know, Saturday. What did I do? I went bar hopping on Saturday.
Nice.
Crazy. Oh no, that was Friday. Oops, I'm getting my dates mixed up already. Uh, Dealt with a crazy hangover on Saturday, and just wanted to die. But through that hangover came the blessing in disguise of me locking in and doing a lot of homework. That was pretty good.
Yes.
And then Sunday, I went to work as usual. Drove the forklift, crushed like 6 people's cars.
Understandable.
The usual, blue collared work. How about you, Nico? What did you do this weekend?
I mean, as usual, I went to the Cherry Blossom Festival for both days as usual. It's pretty fun as always just to visit the place. Especially they're going to close off like the plaza for construction. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I mean the Japantown is going to be open for longer, but it's uh the main area where you have the statue and all the such, where it's like a park area, if that makes sense, is going to be closed off for renovation. So they're going to be renovating that for the rest of the year until next spring. So that's gonna be
Oh
interesting.
wow. Yeah.
Um, I didn't know that there was a Yoasobi concert here in SF.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
crazy. Um, yeah, that's crazy. It's like I think the place was at Civic Center or something. I don't know. I may be wrong with the
Should
place,
we
but
go? Should we go for a nerd out?
oh god, how much are they still are they still going? That's the
Huh?
thing because
Here, I'll look it up right now.
the reason why I knew this is because I know there's a cosplayer that's native here is here in SF, and they posted a story of them going to the Yosobi concert. Um, yeah, but they were there and it was fun from what I've heard so far. So hosted by Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Ooh.
But there's some other stuff as well. There's a fair amount of cosplayers are yeah. For some reason, there's some people I recognize like whenever I go to like Japantown, I recognize like them as cosplayers from like social media. I'm like, oh god, man, it is very surreal. But yeah, Yoasobi concert, and then second one is the it's like a small club thing. It's like an anime club thing that happened,
Yeah.
and I know this one it's this one cosplayer who's also a how is this a programmer that went there. So it's pretty nice, but it's gonna be weird once I graduate and figuring how to socialize in places. So that's gonna be a big challenge.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to be like.
I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
I'm the hit host on
nerding out, case of
KSFS.
nerding out. Oh
Yeah,
god,
dude.
oh that'll be crazy to say.
That would be
Look-
pretty crazy to say.
oh
Not
man,
gonna lie.
yeah. What's a KSFS? What's a nerding out? It's a radio station nowadays. But yeah, that's yeah. Otherwise, though, the parade was pretty fun. As well. Yesterday it was pretty packed and like sunny, but luckily by the time we got like halfway through the parade, the wind started to like pull through, which is very nice. So yeah. But otherwise, just having experiencing it again is very nice, just to support the local area. So yeah, it's nice just visiting Japantown once when you have the time. But yeah, that's everything really with the weekend. Nothing too crazy. So let's get started. If you've seen in the our post, we'll be talking about anything, everything about the internet. You know,
Yeah, dude.
the internet's a very wild place and an interesting place
I think
when
it's.
people get into it for the first time.
Yeah,
Because
dude.
I know that I've mentioned this before, but the first time I actually truly gotten into the internet was the DSI. The DSI, you know, you're able first the DS was a thing back then. It's a very popular console, popular handheld device. Interestingly enough, there was a special like cartridge that lets you boot to the internet. This is before like like app downloading over the internet and saving it to your like hard drive and all that such. This is like a whole like card, a DS card. You're able to like connect to the internet, though it's very limited. Like you can't like watch videos. You can just only just check like the text and the pictures on the web page. So you're very limited to what you can see and access to the DS. But the DSi was like the first one, because you get like the DS store, right? DSi store, and then you have your pre-installed ones like like the browser and all that such. So yeah, it's pretty revolutionary, quote unquote, if you had that back then. I guess this was like I think before like probably before like the iPhone like smartphones took off. So
Yeah, 100%,
um,
dude.
yeah, it was very fun just to just download some games, even though you know that uh, if a handheld device stops getting support from, like, for example, Nintendo. It just gets lost in the void unless you're into like
Collecting.
not collecting, home brewing and all that such.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do Do you have any, Gabe? Do you have any like memories on how you got your first like taste of what the internet is? Like, if it's like a website or if it's a
So
device or
so
all that
I
sorts.
think so I should have had access to the internet way sooner, but as a dumb kid, I didn't know how to set it up on any of like my consoles cuz I had like the Wii,
Yeah, yeah.
And then that was like my first like legitimate console. But man, dude, it was set in Spanish. I could not understand. I was barely understanding Spanish for like how to like set the internet and stuff like that. So I just couldn't set it up on the Wii. And then when my parents finally got a laptop for themselves to like, I don't know, talk with family back home, the internet was already like they already connected it. Thank God. And then after that, you know me, I had to look up YouTube.
Ah,
And man,
yes.
after that, it goes the rabbit hole of unmonitored YouTube videos
Oh man,
showing up on a kid's feed. And then I'm like, wow, dude, what is Family Guy, you know?
I've seen some cursed stuff. Like, I've seen some cursed stuff during like the early days of YouTube,
Oh, yeah,
because
dude.
back then it was still fresh, it was still new. Not a lot of, no, well, there's still moderation, but it's not as moderated as today. But even then, today is kind of like weird with like moderation. But back then it was the Wild West. If that makes sense.
Yeah, dude.
I remember back then in YouTube. You know what I like about YouTube back then is that you're able to like customize your channel page like to your heart's content. So this was during before everything was very minimalist. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it without like some visual example, but let's just say, for example, Smosh, right?
Yeah.
Smosh is a very well known like channel that does a lot of, well, in the beginning, a lot of comedy skits and all such related to like pop culture and all that such and all those types of shenanigans. So their website was mainly a lot of it was very their on brand stuff, like their cardboard background, their spray paint decals and all that such. It was
Yeah.
very them, if that makes sense. But with the recent with the as YouTube gone more and more into more popularity, a lot of the visual aspects that makes your channel page you just disappeared. If that makes sense, for a more minimalist looked, which is kind of sad now that I think about it, because it would have been insane to have people show their creativity, if that makes sense, for their channel, for their like homepage,
Yeah.
just for just for creative purpose. That's the point of being content creator. Just being creative in your works, your identity, if that makes sense, on the internet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Smosh is very well known, and then machinima,
Machinima a crazy one right
but
now.
machinima, for what it is, it's what got a lot of people started, especially especially PewDiePie.
Yeah, dude.
And PewDiePie, I haven't mentioned him for a while because he's very chilling with his life, which is pretty dope though. Not gonna lie, like being the face of the platform, even with like all the controversy and stuff, is still chilling. That's
Basically, yeah.
that's pretty wild. But and then some other stuff really with like YouTube. MySpace was used to be one of the platforms that had that type of. I may be wrong with the details, but you're able to like customize it to an extent where if you had like the knowledge to do HTML and CSS, you're able to like just make crazy stuff. Similarly, still with my anime list, you can still do that till this day, which is crazy
That's pretty
because
cool.
a lot of the websites that have gone through like a evolution, if that makes sense, or a change, has made it too minimalist in my opinion, I don't know why, but it's but there's still some websites that still like keep that flair for those who want to create more for for themselves. Beginning probably about May once I got through the DSI, got in through like at least the internet with like just those very slow Dell computers. I think a lot of people would recognize or just relate that they've played some sort of flash game back in the day.
Oh yeah, dude.
Flash games, if anyone here doesn't know, is a let's just say it like an engine.
Rip Flash.
You rip flash, but I'll talk about how it's kind of it's still preserved. I remember back then booting up like websites like miniclip.com, Congregate, some other websites as well that hosted like a lot of these games, and that's where I think a lot of people got just access a lot of those games because in public school Wi-Fi or public school internet, you're basically blocked with
Yeah.
most of the stuff. Well, not everything, of course, but you're basically blocked from accessing most of the stuff. So people would access these types of websites because they're not as blocked as it is because they're clip they're 2DS games or and such. But a lot of the games that I've played are like The Last Stand, that boat game where you have to like angle it so that you hit your opponent or knock them off, and then there's a lot of games as well in the browser. That makes sense. There's like a bunch
Yeah, dude.
to talk
Like
about.
we had so many like cool math games.
Oh yeah,
Y8.
yeah, cool math game. Yeah, Y8. Oh my god.
Y8 was the one that the schools would never know about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then anytime we had the Chromebooks out, pop that baby open, play some random game, dude. Papa's Pizzeria.
Yeah, Papa's Pizzeria. Oh
Dude,
my.
Shout out Papa's, bro. That really pushed me through
There's
school.
Papa's Pizzeria has, from my surprise, there's like a lot,
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of them.
He has a Frozen era,
Frozen era,
sushi era.
sushi.
It's always Nira too. It
Oh
always
my, of
ends
course,
with that.
Nira.
Uh,
Crazy.
he had a yogurt, a cookie, burger, sandwich, grilled cheese,
Grilled cheese and
specifically.
Nira.
Yeah,
What the?
it
Oh
was
my.
so funny,
Crazy.
dude. They are milking that series, bro. Whatever food exists,
Whatever.
like Papa opens a franchise, and he always dips. He gets one employee, and he's like, "All right, that's all you."
That's all you. I go now. Man, a lot of the games were very like funky back then. If that makes sense. It was you get like the thing is that there's like a lot of how should I say, bootlegs that come with flash games because it's not too hard to develop a game compared to like a AAA game, an indie game. It's flash. It's very low power. It's mainly 2D unless there's like some 3D aspects, but that's on to you and how you develop it. And it's very accessible. You can basically clone that game from one website to another. I know. I remember. Back then. You know, it's there's a certain few browser-based games that took the world by storm, like Club Penguin, right?
Club Penguin was crazy.
Toontown to an extent, but that Toontown is kind of interesting because that's like the first browser game where you had to install stuff to your computer, and it opened like a special window. So, yeah, it's like the first iteration of, I guess, like what people know as like games like from Steam or whatever, but instead of a curated platform like Steam or Epic, it's in the browser, which you have to access. But and I remember Club Penguin, you had to buy a subscription just to access most of the content. But I mean, I guess that's just how it is. But it's interesting where a lot of the stuff that people had, if you didn't buy like the membership, were just mainly free stuff that you will get from like events, which is kind of crazy to think about. But
Yeah, dude.
I guess that's something really with Club Penguin. Then it shut down because time passed. But
People stopped
Um,
buying it. You know what I'm surprised is still up?
which one?
Wizard 101, dude. I'm surprised that one is still popping.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm surprised to this day because I've seen people in Twitch play that. I'm like, what?
And then
So-
what's it called? People, I've like gotten like YouTube algorithm. They're starting to show me like Wizard 101 builds if you're death build, and I'm like,
It's
why is
crazy.
it
Isn't
recommending me a
isn't
death
Wizard
build?
101 a turn base? I think.
Yeah, it's a turn-based
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
And then what's
Like
it
man, it's
called?
still happening. So I'm like, oh my
And
god.
then what's it called? If you're like fighting like a boss, like there's no restrictions on who could join. So whoever's in the area could just join your fight or
Nice,
leave the fight in the middle of it if they're about
nice.
to die, which
Understandable.
I think is pretty funny. But I'm surprised that that game is like what's standing
Yeah,
after like
there's still a
Club
lot of
Penguin.
games that are active to this day. I know this is not a browser game of sorts, but PlanetSide 2, it's like a very popular like
Oh, yeah, PlanetSide 2 is
PlanetSide
super
still
fun.
still it's still going to this day. It's not
That's
a browser game for starts. It's like a it's an actual game, but it's a game that's been
that's like the
there.
original. That's like the original Helldivers.
I guess so, but I treat it more like a large scale battlefield game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a it's a very old like FPS game where it's a lot of combined arms like tanks and planes and lots of base building stuff, but it's still active to this day with like a fairly like dedicated player base because it's a the engine is very like old, so it runs on any computer without any issue, but it's still going to this day. They're adding like a lot of like content and such, like there's like a lot of like weapons, a lot of like vehicles, and a lot of stuff that has that that you can use. So that's one thing that I kind of want to mention is a lot of there's a fair amount of games that are still active to this day, and I know that there's a fair amount of people that has nostalgia, so they develop a lot of revival teams for
Yeah.
to have to make the game active again. That makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
One of
100%.
the games that I kind of mentioned was a old Ubisoft game called Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Phantoms, and that is a game I kind of wanted to play back then, but I didn't know how to because I know what a computer was. So,
Yeah.
it was a Ubisoft game where it's like a third person game where it's you're against like phantoms, so just like ex Ghost Recon like operatives. That makes sense. So, it was hosted on the website. I think this was during before Ubisoft Connect and all that such. So you
Yeah.
had to like install like their software through that website instead of like a cohesive platform as I said before. So you had to like register, and then all of a sudden you had to wait for the install, and then you launch the game through that browser. It's not a You had to install it through the browser because they didn't have like credentials that are for example for Steam. It's already there, you can log in, so you had to log in through the browser just to access the game, which is crazy to think about in terms of hurdle jumping just to
Yeah, dude.
open the game.
Thinking back on like old games, dude, there's it was always something with them. If they
Yeah,
weren't like just on like Steam or something like that,
they will be in like a
you always had to like you would buy it and then you would be like, all right, how come it doesn't work? And then you have to like go on like Reddit or something and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
find like the next bug fix and keep on jumping down until it works.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my
It was
goodness.
always such a loophole to get games to work, bro.
Yeah, because it was kind of it was interesting to think about because there's a lot of websites were mainly a thing back in the day. People didn't have Steam or, as I said before, Epic Games, so people will just like type in the websites just to access that certain game because that's just how it is. But I know that I remember trying to play this game called Fusion Fall. This was a Cartoon
Get
Network game.
get out of here, bro. I hate Fusion Fall. You know,
And
you finish that. I have a Fusion Fall story.
oh no. So I tried like installing Fusion Fall, right? And it gave me a lot of like errors just on on installing. Once you like finish your registration, I had to like check what's wrong to like the internet, like some weird forum that I had to check. I'm like, okay. And then I had to like adjust some stuff with I guess some settings or something that had to do with the game, and lo and behold, it worked. after all this time,
Wow.
and it still took a long time to download the game because internet was very slow. So I'm like, oh,
Dude.
uh,
So as a kid, right, I did not remember my logins at all.
oh no,
I would just make a new account each time I wanted to play the
yeah,
game, and if I wanted to still use the same save, I would remember the login for a good while. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play some Fusion Fall. Forgot my last account. Didn't really care. Didn't even remember how far I got.
oh no,
So I launch it open, and I think this is like during the age where it's like about to be like shut down, and then log on, do the tutorial, and then you know how it sends you to like the first planet, and
yeah,
then you like talk to Ben 10 or Dexter or whatever.
yeah.
I got sent to the final boss
I
with starter gear, and I was like, what am I supposed to do here? And then the thing is, I guess they made it so the final boss couldn't one shot you no matter what.
what?
So basically, even though I'm level 1, I'm basically fighting this like final boss. Not I'm just taking regular damage, but then I can't damage him. And I have to just wait for his attack cycle to finally attack and like kill me off. But it's taking forever. And then when I finally die, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll be like sent to like the final boss area and I can like grind there. Nope, just back to the beginning.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I was like, wow, dude, I
I
wonder how many people have gone through that where it's just like, yeah, dude, we're just gonna send you to the final boss now. You finished the tutorial.
yeah, that is crazy. I was like, that's like the equivalent of just going to like a raid, like for example, Final Fantasy 14 online, and just like going to you're getting to like a dungeon, and all of a sudden you just get booted to like the main boss. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, technically that's the point of the game, but man, that's a crazy thing to experience. Really
I discovered a
slow.
crazy time skip.
Oh
If
god,
anyone were to speedrun it, bro, I would have. I got the crazy time skip right
that's
there.
very. I mean, technically, I mean Fusion Fall is technically active. The revival, I guess, but still there. If anyone
Mm.
is interested, it should be somewhere in the internet. You probably search it up, but I forgot the
Didn't
specific name.
didn't they make all of them like very anime looking?
Yeah, that's I think the point of their aesthetic, I guess, for Fusion Fall, because it's more of a alternate world-ish
Universe.
universe thingy. Just so
Uh,
happens that I have Cartoon Network characters
yeah.
of the 2000s Cartoon Network characters like Imaginary's friend, Imaginary home. I forgot the entire name. It's like a long name
Oh,
for
Foster's Home
Foster's
for
Home for Imaginary Friends.
there we go.
And then Ben 10. We got Powerpuff Girls. Basically the ones that you would expect for like the early 2010s, like 2000s 2010s era like Cartoon Network. I don't think they haven't added like things like Adventure Time and all that such, but so this is like before, I think.
Yeah, this is we got Powerpuff Girls, Dexter, we got the Kids Next
Yeah,
Door, like all of those.
yeah, it's pretty wild to think about, really.
Pretty old Cartoon Network characters.
So, getting off the topic of just games and such, one of the I think the YouTubers that I watch in the internet, back then the internet was called Dong. It's if you guys know that website, that name, it's a sub channel of Vsauce, that deals a lot of like the internet and all such. So an interesting website that I think that still is kind of reminiscent of internet back then, was called well, it's a website that's made currently, but reminds us of the internet. It's called Neil.fun. So Neil.fun is a website that has a lot of interactable stuff with for example, the train trolley thing, the train trolley like situation where, oh, do you want to go to this train track, or do you want to go to that train track? You can
Oh, yeah,
yeah, you
yeah,
can
I
try
get
it
it.
right now. It's called Neil.fun. It's basically like a website that hosts a lot of like the other websites that has a lot of more of the fun interactive stuff. That's where I think the web, if you know the webs,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
train trolley.
Okay, let's do a quick one real
Oh
quick.
no, quick one.
Okay, a trolley is heading towards sorry, I'm gonna bring the mic over here. Oh wait, this is the original. I did nothing. I killed 5 people.
Oh,
Okay, here's the next one. Oh no, a trolley is heading towards 5 people. You could pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing 4 people. What do you do instead?
What's the
So,
situation?
so we either kill 5 people or 4 people.
Four
Well,
people.
we're doing 4 people. All right, it killed 4 people.
I
Okay, we'll do one. Okay, okay, this one sounds interesting. Oh no, a trolley is heading towards 5 people. You pull the lever to divert it to the other track, but then your life savings will be destroyed. What do you do?
my life savings of $100.
I don't know about you, but I got a lot in life savings, bro.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, it's on you at this point. I mean, I know my answer, but I know my answer is just $100. But
Hey guys, I'm a terrible person, bro. My life savings, I'm keeping that. All right, we're gonna stop playing that before we before
you
this,
mentioned anything.
this entire episode it just turns into
A trolley program.
yeah, dude. Like okay, there's a dinosaur on the other trail and 5 people on the other one.
Dinosaur. But yeah, a lot of the websites that, as I said before, on the website called Dong, aka Vsauce 3, they would mention a lot of like websites that are informative. They're informative, interesting, and things that are just fun to visit. Really, I mean it's been a while since I've talked about it, but man, it's been crazy to think about nowadays. But with that, but I think for now, we will be back. As always, I'll take a small break. Um, Also, yeah, we'll be back. We'll be talking about more about internet stuff, just as usual. As usual, we're listening. We're available on KSFS app as well, and on our Twitch channel, which we're currently broadcasting, KSFS radio station. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We'll play some Animal Crossing lo-fi. So we'll be back, and we'll see you guys in a few. Take care, y'all. KSFS Radio would like to thank our underwriters, Kayaro Consulting of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Services for International Real Estate, and Bed and Biscuits of Marion Boarding and Daycare for Small Dogs and Grooming for All. Also, KSFS Radical Record Fair is happening on Thursday, the 25th. Come for vinyl vintage clothes and DJs. So yeah, thank you. Their support helps us keep KSFS on the air and urge you to support their businesses. Welcome back, y'all. This is nerding out everything nerdy, all things nerdy, every time, all the time. This is we are talking about the internet, as always. Talking about notable games that happened back in our childhood, and also as well as things in terms of YouTube as well. As stated before, this week is Earth Week, so a lot of this here in campus, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's happening on the Malcolm X Plaza. Lots of fun stuff that's happening in terms of vendors, in terms of booths, and also other organizations that are tabling as well. Also, we might KSFS Radio is also tabling on the Malcolm X Plaza, so come visit us. Just jam out with us and also just talk about some stuff as well. So yeah, that's all for it for stuff outside here as well. Okay, so in terms of I remember back then, as we mentioned in the anime episode, where our we before the realm of Crunchyroll and Funimation, RAP Funimation, a lot of our websites that we tend to visit just to search anime has been like third party websites that are not legal in any
Yes,
way
sir.
any way, shape or form. um a lot of fan subs, if that makes sense, are have been created just in dedication to subbing anime.
Oh
Even
yeah.
before you know Crunchyroll, like these actual organizations that actually host anime. It's interesting how back then we had to search w- whole and wide just to find a safe quote unquote website just to get into watching anime. Um,
I have something crazy to admit.
oh no,
For a good minute, I watched Fairy Tale all on YouTube
yes,
off of a dude's channel, and he
yes,
would break up each episode into three different parts.
oh no,
And then the screen wasn't it would have like an
yeah.
ugly
So yeah,
background,
yeah.
and then the screen would be in the middle, but it'd be smaller so you could still see the background. Yeah, I watched a lot of Fairy Tale off that guy's YouTube. I don't know whatever happened to him. I remember one episode, there was just never a part 2, and I couldn't find it anywhere because no one else followed his format. So I had to search far and wide for that episode on the internet, and
It's
then I
a
found the
it's a
the
very
fan site.
it's a very common thing, especially on YouTube. It's crazy to think about because it even to this day it's still happening. Especially on
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, dude.
You have that quarter inch like screen, and then you have the whole background as if it was like a stream or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it would stop. Like the
It's
screen, the
so
screen,
bad,
the screen
bro.
was is the video, the actual video is like 30% opacity, and so
Yeah.
it's just so that YouTube doesn't catch it or whatever. But man, that's
That did not work at all,
it
dude.
is it
That
is
never worked.
crazy, like to think about, because on the topic of just is it like called piracy or whatever? Because it's a weird concept to mention.
Yeah, because you're like
Yeah,
stealing from the.
in a way, because I remember on Twitch, right? This is before this is before um the pandemic hit. This is like, okay, before 2020, whatever. When Artifact released, right? I
Hmm.
think I mentioned this before when we were talking about Twitch. Artifact was a was a game that no one wanted, like the
Yeah.
card game that's centered around Dota characters. If you know what Dota is, I guess. And people hate the game so much that Artifact was home to watching a lot of content, and by content I mean movies, TV shows, and anime and all the such. If you, it, it's kind of surprising because I was there, like experiencing when it all like happened, because everyone hated the game, and those who were streaming it had to the point where it was used as a home for, as I said before, anime, video games, and television. And sometimes you get the crazy portion where it has a very R18 stuff, but that's just
That
that's
is insane. R18 stuff?
yes. I mean, the R18 stuff, they were like very bottom, so because
I think
Yeah,
that's so crazy that they're like,
because the
I
game.
need more views, bro.
Yeah,
Bring
but
in the teenagers.
yeah, well, the thing
Oh,
is that the game was very. Yeah, this was before like regulations. Well, not regulations, but people like watching like normal content, because now people are able to watch like normal like TV shows and such, which is very weird back then. But during that time, it was very crazy because people were watching full on like movies, for example, like the ones like are like released from like theaters and such. So I remember we were people were watching. I think, I mean, Family Guy was very like common, but people were watching full on anime, for example, right? So a lot of the folks that were in there were like hopping categories so that they won't get caught, because when what ends up happening was that people like caught on that, oh, there's a lot of like movies and shows that people the Twitch staff started like banning people because, of
yeah.
course. So it got to the point where it was a whole crackdown of like that, and like of just watching like shows in general until like pandemic, which everything kind of like normalized and people were watching full on TV shows like Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef, and all such.
Yeah, dude.
Back then it was crazy. Like people were like what I mean, it's just watching, but people were like watching stuff, even like the crazy like content. But man, what a
Yeah, dude.
what a face.
Piracy has come a long way now, dude.
Yeah.
We've left the .com era of piracy websites, and now we're in the .2,
Dot two.
.cz, whatever the ending
Whatever
domain is.
the ending is kind. Yeah, I'm still questioning like the ending and such, because it's very interesting to have as an ending, because most of the time you would think they're like scams or whatever, because who the heck puts CZ in like as their ending. So,
Yeah, dude.
but I mean that's technically now you can make your own domain and all such with
I
that, which
hope
is
I
crazy.
didn't just accidentally leak all my piracy sites. The
uh,
FBI's listening to this with like, .2.
FBI all across the continent, just casually listening to KSFS radio. Oh,
Yeah, dude.
let's write that
We
down.
let's be real. We probably have an FBI agent, at least one on this computer. right here.
Probably, yeah.
And he's like,
we want
he, what do you think that FBI agent's favorite show is? Like just sitting here all day.
just sitting there all day, just checking surveillance of like on like people here in the U.S.
Biggest nerd out fan. He has like a little like NO like tattoo on the
yeah,
on his
like
bicep.
our like profile like our
Our profile pictures
profile
is
picture.
crazy, dude.
Man, that's yeah. The profile picture is very low quality, I think, like because of the compression and stuff.
Oh
Because
yeah, dude.
oh man, it's crazy. Uh, but in terms of yeah, as I said before, the internet's a very wild place as well.
I know, yeah.
Um,
A lot of things have sprouted just from it,
social media especially.
Yeah, dude.
Facebook. Before we got all these like websites that hosted and a lot of crazy like content from social media, Facebook was many people's first foray into social media as a platform. Being able to connect to people, friends, family, and anywhere really is wild. And we know what revolutionized it more is Facebook logins
Oh
to
yeah.
games.
Oh yeah, dude.
Using your Facebook like credentials to save games, man, that is something.
That was a life changer right there.
It's you gotta love like those like, what's crazy?
What's
I
up?
wanted to work at Zynga back in the day.
What?
Zynga.
What's Zynga?
So oh my god. So Zynga.
My bad, Unk.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I feel old. So Zynga is a social media platform game.
Oh my god.
Farmville.
Dude, you just dude. I just
Oh my god, that's how
the neuron just connected in my head. dude.
connected. Man, oh man.
I kept on saying
kept
it
on
in my
think-
head, and then I'm like, why am I thinking it's green?
What's that meme again from Spider-Man from the multiverse? What is it? I forget.
The point?
I was gonna say domain expansion, but that's Jujutsu Kaisen. But no, that's not. No, it's something. It's something because the point of the movie is that they have different like alternate universes. There's a specific term, I think. Oh, I forgot, but
we're
you
brain
get
farting.
you get the idea.
Yeah, dude.
It's like a whatever. But so social media. They're a social media platform, social media game platform company that's dedicated to games like Farmville and all that stuff. Just was like before, no, I won't say Clash of. It's not like the same level as Clash of Clans, but they're more like very static. That makes sense. Like
Yeah.
time, I would treat them as more like time wasters. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
because like the system of pay like pay to play, if that makes sense, type system was there, but Clash of Clans, at least you're able to do stuff even with the timer to upgrade stuff
Yeah.
happens. So but with Farmville and all such Farmville games and such like that, they're mainly there just to to waste time, like for example Farmville, you're just making a farm right. So I wanted to work there before because my high school hosted um, um my high school went to a field trip to there just to see what's up there, and I tried to like get an internship back then, but
Yeah.
I didn't get in. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. But I mean, yeah, I mean, technically, I think they're not there anymore, which is wild. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild to think about that. Facebook really spawned in a lot of social media s games to platform. I mean, till this day, a lot of mobile games still can be used to use Facebook as a login, which is
Yeah, dude.
crazy to think about. But
Dude.
do you have any games that I'm assuming you didn't play any games in when it was in like Facebook, for example, right?
Well, okay. So I did play 2 games.
Yes.
So the one obviously Candy Crush because I had to beat the levels for my
Candy
mom.
Crush. Oh.
She was addicted to it, and the other one was one that was constantly being aired on Adult Swim, and it was the Weed Simulator, Weed Farmer Simulator.
Oh my.
And see, I was like, oh, dude,
Yes, Adult Swim games.
farming sim, yes sir.
Adult Swim games are very crazy.
I know, yeah.
I know this one where it's like a third person game where it's like I forgot the specific name, but it's like a third person game where like you shoot things or whatever, but you're like in a weird fantasy world, but your guns are like very modern esque, I guess. But I forgot the name. But
That sounds
man,
like so many different Adult Swim. Dude, Adult Swim games were
are just crazy.
cursed. There's what was it?
I'm-
Back Alley Doctor or something like that.
Yeah, they're crazy. I'm like, what? You get like the crazy concepts. I'm like, what are
know,
these
yeah.
games? I'm like,
And then what's it called? You mentioned Clash of Clans earlier, and I was like, wow, dude, what an era, dude.
what an era, man. Clash of Clans. I mean, Clash Royale is a different game, but Clash of Clans was like the game when we're talking about just
Yeah, dude.
very notable like mobile games. I know mobile games are very something nowadays. We're now in the gotcha era, but
That
back then it was crazy. You got like the people that were like scheming and all such just to create the perfect like base to
Dude.
be defended.
that single-handedly united my middle school, bro. Cause it's so funny, cause we had our own school clan, and basically every guy was like a part of it.
Nice.
And then it just got to the point where like it could be like the freshmen would come in and we'd be like, "Hey, come join the clan." And then like the freshmen were cool with like the 8th graders and stuff like
That's
that.
crazy.
And they're like, "Yo, bro, could you send me dragons? I'm not trying to use giants again." And it's like, "Oh, I got you."
That's crazy. I mean, that's pretty interesting though. Like the ecosystem that like spawn like unintentional like alliances
Friendships, yeah,
and
dude.
friendships. You know what defined that even more? 2016, Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go was a unity.
It was a unity. Like we will never have that in like for like 20 years or
Oh,
something.
100%, dude.
A game where people people got out, but a mobile game where people actually went somewhere. That makes sense. It's hard to explain, but people, the concept of mobile games used to be just being able to you're staring into the screen, in a fictional world, like for example Clash of Clans. But with Pokemon Go, the way that you have to play the game is you going outside, going
Yeah.
to gyms. I mean, of course, there's some controversy in that because some people went to non.
Yeah, that was
That was something else. But for the most part, in terms of concept, people were actually like getting involved outside. For the first time in ever. Using the GPS as your game loop.
And then being able to catch
catch
Pokemon.
Pokemon, get Pokemon,
And
and
then raids. Raids were crazy, dude.
people. I remember people were like, there's some videos online, but people just running to somewhere just to get like a legendary Pokemon.
Yeah,
Wow,
it was a legendary Charizard.
Charizard. I'm like, oh,
Dude,
so
who wouldn't want a legendary Charizard though? I remember I think I might have gotten a shiny before and I was like freaking out. But it's like people are like, "Oh, why is he freaking out?" Cuz I'm in public. And I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh my
public.
god. Oh my god. I got it. I got it."
Yeah,
And then they're like, "Oh my god, this kid might be tweaking out, dude."
Twig.
I'm pretty sure they wanted to call the cops on me, dude, just cuz I
Probably.
was like I was freaking out over
Yeah, I mean
like a
for
shiny Weedle or
shiny.
something.
Yeah, basically, I'm like, and I think the only I remember the most exciting thing that happened was that I managed to get a very good like Dragonite, and it took hella Pokeballs just to get it because
Oh,
that's just how it is. It took like hella long. It did because you had to like circle it and then you have like aim it to like the circle just to get a better
yeah.
chance. But man, even without better chance, it's still luck. So I'm like, oh, rough time. But I still managed to get that Dragon. I'm like, yes, Dragonite. But
Shout out Dragonite.
Dragonite. But man, from what interesting enough, when I mentioned Pokemon Go, I realized there was a controversy that happened with Pokemon Go with they changed the models or something,
Oh yeah, they
which is
did.
like,
They look
huh?
super ugly right now.
Yeah, I'm like, huh? So I mean, there's some other stuff that happened with Pokemon Go,
Oh,
but
I just remember they removed like the waist. So like
huh?
instead of like going inward, like all the characters just have like rectangle bodies until
Oh no!
their legs
Why did they
divide.
change it? That's the thing. It was fine. Oh my!
Because they said that they were gonna like revamp it, so then you
That's not
could
a
do.
reboot. It's so weird.
Yeah, dude.
It's like I won't say PS1 era, but that's like doing disservice to PS1.
It's pretty PS1 era, dude.
It's PS1 era, but it's doing disservice to PS1. I'm like, what? Like I've seen screenshots where the face where it's like pixely. I'm like, what? How? So I'm like, okay, I
Yeah, and
guess
all the faces look generic now instead of like. And then people like
good.
apparently are like super into like creating like custom the character customization in that game too. So like they're taking this to heart, dude.
Yeah, like the thing is that it was fine earlier, but I don't know why they changed it. I'm like, okay, I guess, but it's so weird. It's like very bad.
I know, dude.
The previous ones were really or okay. I mean, it's not a very like in depth like character game, but man, it was fine early, but I guess they changed it. Like, okay, Ugh. Man, it'll be wild thinking about that because it's like sometimes when you think about things that, as I said before, when things change, they tend to get worse. From what I've mentioned earlier with YouTube, with not being able to customize it to your own style and making it like a minimalist thing where like a one size fits all, which is kind of like
Yeah.
to, and then Pokemon Go with changing their models to something even worse. That is like, oh my god, it's a I don't know what corporations think or those who are developing the app or whatever are thinking when they go through that because they already know that's like like a backlash. They will receive backlash, and I don't know why in the first place they would even like push it through because at the end of the day your the product is the people using that the thing, and then y- them just doing that just solidifies it, if that makes sense. But
Yeah. No,
it's
I
kind of
get you.
weird to think about, but that's just how the internet, I guess, goes.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It sucks that they hate us and they want to ruin everything that we love.
Yes, but that's just how it is. Really, it's kind of sucks though that it happens. But I mean, hopefully in the future we'll be able, more better stuff goes. But
Let's become programmers and fix everything.
I wanted to be a computer science major, but I sucked at math. So I'm like, oh
Dude, it's always
man,
the math that gets to people. I'm like
it's
in that same boat. I hate math. I
yeah.
can't do it.
I mean, the thing is that it's how do I say this? I realized now that when I'm getting into tech and stuff and equipment and stuff, I realize I'm not into like the science, the math portion and such. I'm more of the hardware person, like
Yeah.
the one tinkering, like equipment, making sure it works. So, I guess that's what fueled me into, I guess, joining Becca, is because I wanted to just make stuff, I guess, instead of just like being stressed about stressed on math and stuff. So I guess that's to where I
Yeah.
land right now. I guess
Yeah, you guys should join Becca. It's kind of the best
kind of the
major on the
best.
earth.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where I'm going to apply because I have no idea where I want to apply because less my main goal hopefully is to somehow get to LA because most of the jobs there are like Becca like
Yeah.
are media focused, so that's where all the most of the jobs are. So, but the thing is, I'm not in LA, so I'm like, should I say I'm in LA and see if I get a remote job? We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be crazy. Getting a remote job would be so fire, dude.
I think that's my focus right now. If I want to get some money, just to get a remote job somewhere, because at this point, I've been applying to like jobs, um, all over just online, and I haven't gotten any response. I'm like, okay, I guess. So probably just find I'll probably go to like a remote job like website or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, dude.
It'll be something I have to think about, but it's something to just think about. But yeah, that's kind of like a weird like segue. But yeah, the internet. uh,
Yeah,
but
dude.
the internet is a very crazy place. But even then, it's a it's a nice place to be at. Being able to connect to people, being able to experience like games and all such for the first time.
Yeah, dude. It's
But
definitely beautiful.
it's very beautiful. Even with its faults, with its like crazy stuff that happened on the internet. It's a very nice place to be. But yeah, that is it, y'all. That's it for this episode of the internet here in Nerding Out. Everything nerdy, all things nerdy, every time, all the time. My name's Dico,
And my name is Gabe.
and yeah, that's all for this episode. Thank you all for listening. This is the KSFS radio station. Coming up next is,
It's Jack and
as
Josh.
usual, we are here always at 12 to 1 p.m. for this semester, and then yeah, that's basically it. We only have a few weeks left, so catch us up in both the KSFS radio app and on our mobile app as well, and on our website and on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/KSFS radio station. If you guys can, please follow the channel. We like to hear what you guys want to see in the channel because right now we are in the construction of stuff. So yeah, as usual, thank you all for listening. Don't go away. There'll be more shows up here for the next few hours. So stick around, and we'll see you guys later. Take care, y'all.
All right,
Bye
goodbye.
bye.